aircraft carrier Harry S. Truman put back to sea on Saturday, exactly 3 months after the warship returned home from one of the most unique deployments in years. That was a test run of the dynamic force employment plan created by former Defense Secretary Jim Mattis to keep potential enemies guessing about where and when carrier crews will deploy overseas. The Truman's cruise lasted from April 11th to December 16th last year, but it included a Norfolk pit stop in July that officials termed a working port visit before heading out again. This time, the carrier isn't expected to wander too far from Virginia. It just completed a routine continuous maintenance availability in Norfolk, and as the designated reserve carrier for the East Coast, the crew is still in its sustainment phase. That means they have to be ready to sail off from a combat deployment, if necessary, so it's back to training. Truman is heading out for a scheduled independent steaming event to get the crew's feet wet after a couple of months home, Naval Air Force's Atlantic spokesman Commander Dave Huck told Navy Times. She'll get used to operating at sea again and will do some carrier qualifications again with the local C-2, carrier on board delivery, squadrons, but I can't tell you how long she'll be gone, or where she'll go. The Truman is still slated to enter a longer and more rigorous maintenance availability period later this year before starting its pre-deployment training portion of the Navy's optimized fleet response plan. Truman's a busy carrier. In early 2014, it finished a nearly 9-month cruise that took it to the Mediterranean Sea and the Persian Gulf. In late 2015, just over 18 months later, Truman sailed back to wage war in Iraq and Syria before returning on July 13, 2016. And then came the back-and-forth deployments last year. Despite the Truman's frequent use overseas, a debate continues to swirl at the Pentagon and on Capitol Hill about the Flat Top's future. With the latest fiscal year 2020 budget request, military officials telegraphed the request to skip the ship's refueling and complex overhaul session. During an RCOH which arrives roughly 25 years into the service life of a Nimitz-class carrier, shipyard workers refueled the reactors and revamped other parts of the warship, mothballing the Truman instead of refueling it would free up funds for investing in the new Gerald R. Ford-class carriers, stealthy submarines, or a growing fleet of underwater, air and surface drones.